Today the topic is wireless earbud reviews, and I'm going to review the innovative SoundPeats Capsule3 Pro Plus. Let's go. SoundPeats is a brand with an excellent quality-price relationship. And if you are familiar with my reviews, you know it aligns well with me as a consumer. Let's see if the new Capsule3 Pro Plus continues to maintain the same trend. Let's start with the specifications and preliminary analysis of the Capsule3 Pro Plus. And we're going to start with the drivers. Regarding the drivers, the Capsule3 Pro Plus are equipped with a hybrid system of two drivers, a 12mm dynamic driver for low frequencies and an XMEMS driver for higher frequencies. As we know, a dual driver setup like this always has a greater potential to provide better sound quality than a single driver. The big news here is the introduction of the new XMEMS technology for the treble driver, which promises significantly improved sonic quality when compared to conventional drivers. We'll see if this is true later on. Next, we have the frequency range, which in this case is from 20 Hz to 40 kHz, which means it is superior to the standard range of the human hearing spectrum, which is between 20 Hz and 20 kHz. As we know, there are humans who can hear past the standard range, so it is always a positive to have earbuds with an extended frequency reproduction capability. Regarding Bluetooth, they are equipped with Bluetooth 5.3, which, although not the latest version, is perfectly acceptable. Next, we have codecs. The supported codecs are SPC, AAC, and LDAC. SPC and AAC are the standard codecs present in almost all recent earbuds, where AAC is the superior of the two. As for high definition, we have the LDAC codec, which, although proprietary to Sony, unlike other codecs like aptX lossless, it is open source and can be used by any device. Although it is more demanding on the battery, it is my favorite codec. Next, we have controls, and the controls are touch-based, which is standard, so nothing new in this aspect. Next, we have battery life. Regarding the battery, we have 6.5 hours in the earbuds without ANC and 36.5 hours in the case. In terms of wireless earbuds, these are good values, with 6.5 hours being average, while the 36.5 hours in the case is well above average, which is approximately 25 hours. Next, we have the charge time. The earbuds take 1.5 hours to fully charge, which is faster than the normal 2 hours. However, there is no reference to fast charging, meaning gaining a few hours of use with just a few minutes of charge. The charge is done via USB-C only, no support for wireless charging, unfortunately. Next, the earbuds also have the low latency gaming mode, probably at the expense of sound quality, extra battery consumption, or both. In terms of multi-point, the Capsule3 Pro Plus supports up to 2 devices connected simultaneously. However, we can only use this functionality with the SPC or AAC codecs. LDAC, unfortunately, does not work with multi-point. The IP protection of the earbuds is IPX4, which is normal in recent earbuds. You can train with them as long as you don't submerge or soak them in water. Unfortunately, the Capsule3 Pro Plus does not have in-ear detection. So the functionality that allows you to automatically pause the music when you remove the earbud from your ear or resume the music when you put it back is absent. Finally, and fortunately, like all SoundPeats I have tested so far, the earbuds support mono mode with just one earbud. This means that when you are using only one earbud and listening to a stereo source of 2 channels, left and right, they are downmixed to a single mono channel and reproduced without loss of audio information. Without this functionality, if you were using only the left earbud, for example, you would lose all the audio from the right earbud. In my opinion, this functionality should be supported by any earbud. And it's not just a matter of convenience, as there are people who only hear from one ear, for example. Fortunately, the Capsule3 Pro Plus does not disappoint in this aspect. Now let's move on to the evaluation, starting with the sound quality, which is a huge 9.2 out of 10. In this aspect, there is no other way to say it. These are the best earbuds I have tested in terms of sonic quality, period. They are exceptional for any type of music. The highs are crystal clear and super detailed, with a level of definition I had never heard in earbuds until today. If I had to make any remark, it would be that the bass, although very well defined, does not have the same sonic impact compared to the exceptional highs reproduced by the X-MEMS driver. This using the bass equalization of SoundPeats, which is excellent in my opinion. Fortunately, just slightly increasing the sub-bass frequencies below 60 Hz, very slightly, corrects this situation in the app's equalizer. In the highs, and if you are more sensitive to sibilants, you can slightly reduce the higher frequencies, thus avoiding the experience becoming fatiguing for your ears after some time. In summary, the sound is exceptional, and if you are audiophiles, you will certainly appreciate them a lot. Now let's move on to comfort, which is an 8 out of 10, so very good. As it is a very subjective aspect, another one, due to the individual anatomy of each person, always make sure you use the right size of ear tips for your ears. You can train and run with them, and it can even be an option for side sleeping for some people, but only by trying them out you will know. Next, we have the volume, which is a 9 out of 10. Excellent, more than enough. The next aspect is battery life, which is a 7 out of 10. It's good. As we have already seen, we have 6.5 hours in the earbud, which is a normal value, and we also have 36.5 hours in the case. This is already well above normal, which usually goes for around 25 hours. Now let's move on to ANC, which in this case is only a 6 out of 10. Here, I confess I expected more, especially given the higher price of the earbuds. The ANC is good, but in my case, it becomes uncomfortable because I feel a lot of pressure difference between the outside and the ear. For small ambient noises, it works well and makes noisy environments more comfortable, but not much more. A positive aspect is the fact that you can use ANC with just one earbud, which is very useful to use with transparent mode to allow us to be more aware of our environment. Or for people who only hear from one ear, for example. Now let's move on to ear tip replacement. In this aspect, they are an 8 out of 10. Very good, okay? Although they are oval, okay, oval, the ear tip as well. So as I was saying, although they are oval, which makes it more difficult to acquire aftermarket ear tips when compared to round ones, the case easily accepts larger ear tips, which is very positive. In terms of custom EQ, it is the very good standard that SoundPeats has already accustomed us to. We have 10 bands well distributed across the frequency range, although they are fixed. It is also possible to adjust the sub-bass frequencies, so below 60 Hz. It is important to emphasize here that several much more expensive brands have only 4 or 6 adjustment bands, in contrast to SoundPeats' 10. Which allow us for more precise control of the sonic signature. Next, we have control usability and range, which is a 9 out of 10, excellent, as is usual with SoundPeats. The controls are reactive and flawless, allowing us to control almost everything without the application. Regarding high-definition codecs, it is a 9 out of 10. As we have LDAC, which for me is the best high-definition codec at the moment. As for multi-point connectivity, we have a 7 out of 10. It's good, it supports up to 2 devices simultaneously, which is the current standard. However, although it is not very slow, the transition between devices is not instantaneous like in other SoundPeats devices, for example, the excellent Engine 4s. In the case of the Capsule3 Pro Plus, we have to wait a few seconds. Another not so good aspect is the fact that it does not automatically transition between devices when one is playing. We have to manually stop playback on the first device before we can switch playback on the second. And finally, we cannot use multi-point together with the LDAC codec, unfortunately. Next, we have the low latency gaming mode, which is an 8 out of 10. It works well. Personally, I did not notice any latency, although I did not perform advanced tests for this, only used my personal perception. You already know that by using this mode, you are certainly sacrificing audio quality, battery life, or both. Now we come to control customization, which is a 9 out of 10. Excellent. It's funny that this aspect was a big flaw of SoundPeats, which did not support command customization in its app. However, when they provided the functionality, it was immediately in an excellent, super complete way. It allows us to customize practically everything, including 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, and hold. The next aspect is fast charging with 5 out of 10. Unfortunately, the Capsule3 Pro Plus does not have fast charging. However, they can be fully charged in just 1.5 hours, faster than the conventional 2 hours, and this for 43 hours of total use, which is excellent. Next, we move on to earbud location, which is a 0 out of 10 because they don't have the functionality. Next, we have in-ear detection, another 0 out of 10 because they also don't have it. And finally, wireless charging, another 0 out of 10 because they don't have it. Now let's move on to the microphone of the Capsule3 Pro Plus, which is a 9 out of 10. Excellent. The sound quality produced by the microphone is very good, and it works exceptionally well in the various environments tested, meaning controlled environment, with wind environment, and with background noise. Don't forget that you can watch the microphone test video in the various environments. The link is in the description. Now let's move on to the final score and recommendation. In terms of listening, the final score is 8.36 with the microphone score of 9. 2 excellent scores. However, in terms of price, these earbuds are not cheap. With the normal cost being around 100 euros currently. Personally, I managed to buy them for 75 euros in a promotion, which helps a lot in the value proposition, but even so, I don't think I can consider these cheap earbuds, especially for the bundle of features that they have, or in this case, don't have. Looking now at the ranking of the earbuds I have tested, the Capsule3 Pro Plus go straight to first place in terms of sound, obviously, and to second place in terms of microphone. Now that we know the scores, let's move on to the recommendation. I have to confess that I am left with a bitter taste in my mouth at the end of the review of these earbuds. The fundamental characteristics are phenomenal. The sound is incredible, and the microphone is excellent. But that's it. Almost everything else is missing. And for the price they cost, in my opinion, SoundPeats fails to deliver a product that appeals to most people, ending up being more directed towards audiophiles, in my opinion. If that was the goal, I think they succeeded. But for most people, I cannot recommend them. Instead, more affordable offers like the excellent Realme Buds Air 5 Pro, my current daily drivers, or the exceptional Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro. The link of the review is in the description. Go check it out. A bit more expensive, but a much better quality price package than these, in my opinion. And unless you are audiophiles, you won't really notice the difference in sound quality, most likely, which is very good in the Realme and excellent in the Liberty 4 Pro. I also remind you that SoundPeats itself sells the exceptional Engine 4s, which have fantastic sound at half the price of these, and only fall short in the weak microphone. In summary, XMAM's technology has substantially improved the audio quality of earbuds, which is excellent, and we will most likely start seeing the technology being implemented in more earbuds in the future. If you are audiophiles and only care about the fundamental characteristics, then these earbuds are an excellent purchase. Otherwise, in my opinion, there are better options on the market, as I have already mentioned. And that's it. I hope this was useful to you. Please leave your feedback and share your ideas and opinions in the comments. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest videos, you can subscribe to the channel and click the like button. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.